Anybody else? So this is fine, and what time is it?
102.
1:02, okay, so, welcome everyone to this special meeting of the Nantucket Historic District Commission. It's Thursday, October 13th at 1:03 PM, and, we have, Diane Coombs on Zoom. We have in the room present, physically present, Carrie Thornwell, Abby Camp, and myself, Ray Pohl. And we're really here to discuss a new subdivision at Fawn Lane, which is the subdivision, and a number of houses and theoretically pools that are going in there. So that's really the purpose of this meeting. But so can I have a motion from someone to what do we call it?
Approve the agenda.
Approve the agenda.
So moved.
Okay, so
So
Diane has
moved.
made that motion, and of course, because Diane's on Zoom, we're gonna do roll call, which will be very easy. On that motion, Carrie.
Aye.
Thank you, Abby.
Aye.
Diane, on your motion. Say yes.
Aye.
Thank you, and I'm in favor too. Okay, so we have an
Yes.
approved. Yep, gotcha. So, we have an approved agenda. Is there any commissioner comments at this time, not relating to Brooks projects, of course? Okay, any public comment?
I wanted to know,
Oh, yeah,
I just wanted to know about how to join, put my name in, ask Esmeralda to put it in for raise. I keep running out of time to do it, so there's those meetings about the solar stuff. And it said,
oh,
anybody
I thought you wanted
interested to let them
raise
know,
it.
so I
Okay,
let
well,
them know.
we don't pay.
You're getting paid.
You get a 10% raise from 0 to 0.
Getting boost of
Inflation.
No, a raise.
Prize for RISE for the thing Steven's doing.
Hey, Diane. So that would have been under commissioner comment, okay?
Yeah,
So how about rather than us deliberating, which we know is
okay,
not.
that's what,
Esme will get back to you or to me or both on that, okay? Sound good?
okay,
All right.
yeah,
Thanks,
fine,
Diane.
wonderful. Yes,
Okay, so
yes.
thank you, and
Public comment.
you have, well, you would be commissioner comment. Yeah, go ahead.
Congratulations on you and your son. Is it, or do you have a?
Yeah.
Your son? Didn't you win a,
Oh, it's you saw a picture of me and my dad.
that was your dad?
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Well,
I know, his dad looks
congratulations.
like, his dad
Yes.
looks like.
He's
80 years old.
74, yeah.
Wow.
But
So,
no, we were in a half,
congratulations.
thank you, half marathon. I mean, it was just like I won my age group and he won his age group.
Oh, my God. that's
Um,
cool. But it was also
Dang.
a policeman and his son.
Yeah,
Bigger.
Angus was,
Bigger.
Angus was, Angus and I were like in, 1, 2 in our age group.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was
My
fun.
daughter ran that. Camille,
Really?
the half.
Nice. I didn't.
This is last Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. She
That was
ran
such a
that.
beautiful
I
day.
didn't talk to her since,
I didn't see your name on the winners.
because I didn't run it.
But he would have won the whole thing had he run.
Yeah,
That's
why.
implied.
Thanks, Brooke. Thank you. Yeah, so I motion to approve all of that, so.
Hey, I'm not gonna object.
Good job.
Okay, thank you. All right, so to the business at hand. Brooke, we sort of, I decided to pull all this out because you obviously have a number of applications. They're all in the subdivision, and I sort of likened this to some of the stuff that we do over at
Richmond.
Richmond.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now I believe, so Diane,
Yes,
to answer your earlier question, this is a new subdivision off of Old South Road on the Valero side. You can tell that from the locus. But I'm gonna give the mic over to Brooke, who can now sort of like introduce us to the project, its location and all that stuff. So Brooke, you go.
All right. So Diane, first of all, can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you. sometimes it takes some time for you to hear me because there's some sort of delay, but
Yeah.
I am here.
Okay,
But on the website, on the town website, I went in to find Pond Lane. And they told me it was next to Seekenau.
well, that is definitely not
Not
correct.
true.
Off Rugged Road, they said that that's where it was.
No.
That is definitely not correct. So, this particular subdivision has actually been on record for probably at least 20 years. It was approved, I think, back in the late 1990s. It was owned by Holgate and then it was owned by Glowacki. And the pavement has been there this whole time.
Right.
Oh, they already cut in the.
It has been there this whole
Yeah.
time with nobody willing to
No,
take over
no.
the subdivision. You've driven past it probably on a myriad of occasions and never given it a second thought. So we have someone who is interested in actually building on this property. This property abuts the land bank playground property,
Mhm.
and it is across from the state forest as well. Now, in terms of the site plan, it's this is R5 zoning, which permits 40% ground cover. We are nowhere near any of that on any of these buildings. And further, the building heights range from like 24 feet 9 inches to I think 26 feet 6 inches at the highest point, but there is nothing that is taller than that. These buildings, you've seen variations on this theme in Hydrangea Lane, Finback Lane, and in Ellen's Way. So I don't think you're really seeing anything new per se. And that is also why, and I think it does work in here. Just because, if you go up the road and you see Richmond LLC, I think I would argue that this is a much more attractive view than driving by Richmond LLC.
That's a low bar. That's a. low
I
bar.
know, I just want to say that.
I mean
I
that
think-
with all due respect.
Yeah.
to Richmond.
And in terms of immediate context, architecturally, I go to the meat market at Amelia Drive and also to the Tyco building on Amelia Drive in terms of, like a slightly more cottagey feel. So, I think otherwise, one other point is that with maybe one exception and maybe two exceptions, one of which was a previously approved drawing, which is the blue one. All of these buildings have enough different distance between their setbacks and their property lines so that they don't read as setback to setback. There is a 15-foot setback on the left side of these property lines and a 5-foot on the right per R5 zoning. So, I think that the spacing will not appear too clustered. One other point of fact, we're not necessarily addressing the pools just yet, but there are 3 buildings in here which, because of the zoning change in 2021, will have to be 1,000-gallon or less spas. So the size of these pools will be reduced on at least 3 lots and probably 4 because of the zoning setback, which is 10 feet if you have a pool. And those are 11 Fawn Lane, 13 Fawn Lane, 2 Fawn Lane, and 6 Fawn Lane.
Oh, hold on, 11 Fawn Lane?
Yep, 11 Fawn Lane,
Oh,
which,
that's the existing one.
and that's approved. They
Right.
just started
Okay, so
building it.
scratch that one, and what were the
Yep.
other ones, Brooke?
13 Fawn
13.
Yep, and that is because of the lot
Okay.
size, 2 Fawn Lane, and that is also because of the lot size.
Okay,
And then 6 Fawn Lane, that is, that needs a 10-foot setback on both sides. Both property, adjacent property lines, so that pool will at least get smaller. And then we can talk about the rest of the pools, as we go forward.
yeah, I don't want to speak for the board on this, and I don't want to necessarily jump the gun, but I think that the bigger concern is obviously going to be the pools that are facing Old South. Right now, Richmond, you may have been sitting in on this meeting, but Richmond is now sort of looking for approvals on some houses that are like getting close to Old South Road, like right there.
Mhm.
And what we saw is pools that were in the backyard vis-a-vis the Richmond property, but in the front yard with respect to Old
Yeah.
South Road, and we all sort of like gasped when we saw
Yeah.
that. So, but let's not have the cart lead the horse, because I think what we should probably focus on first is the architecture.
Yeah.
So you have one approved,
Yeah, that's-
and are these modules or are they all different?
They are all different,
They're all
they are
different.
all stick framed. And
How about, just so we get a general picture, is the idea to have them be like different colors?
oh, yeah, I've got grays, I've got gray trim, white trim,
Okay,
cobblestone trim, black windows, white windows. I mean, I didn't really go beyond the black and the white because it's Anderson, and green, just nobody wants it. I mean, I love it. I love red too, but black and white. So, and it was sort of a mix and match. But the white buildings, I think I've got maybe 2 or 3 of them as white, but most of them are either cobblestone, platinum gray, or Quaker gray trim.
And most of them have cottage corners.
Yeah, I tried to mix it up. I tried to have like half with cottage corners, half with corner boards. I have a couple in there with what are like the square cut soffits, with the return, which is really cool looking, especially with cottage corners. And then I've got probably there's like 3 of those, and then the rest are the projecting rakes and soffits.
okay. So, question to the board is, do any of you have questions about sort of the general overview, that Brooke can address, or should we dive into this and now look in more detail at our first application?
You mean like general overall
Yeah,
comments about?
with
yeah.
regard to the layout.
I have a
or-
few thoughts
Yeah.
that I thought might make it a little more palatable. But the first one I thought was maybe we could have some tandem parking instead of coming in and seeing every 2 cars in a row. And there might be places that of that.
Oh,
I
you
don't.
mean like stacked parking?
Yeah, staff
So
parking.
instead of like where you come in off of the feeder, which is called Buck Hollow, like those three buildings would be stacked so that you're not seeing them
Well, they all just have.
Well, I don't know exactly. I mean, better, but
like that one. and
yeah,
that
yeah,
one.
especially 2 together might just get a little sort of.
Yeah, this one was already approved, but we could probably do a stack right here on 13 and probably 9. We can do a stack, and those are the most visible ones.
They would be, yeah.
Can't do one here, not here. Maybe, maybe this one.
Where's here?
Oh, sorry
Sorry.
about that.
Sorry,
Okay, so looking at the site plan, Diane, what Brooke is offering that would be easy to do, relatively easy to do tandem, would be 13 on. And then less easy to do would be the ones, 15 would be less easy. 11 fawn is already approved.
9 fawn I could do.
9 fawn could be tandem. In other words, when you drive in Buck Hollow, which is the feeder street, what you're looking at when you drive in and what you would see from Old South Road would be some tandem spaces.
Stacked.
The
Yeah.
other,
You want to do, like, you want stacked as opposed to right next to each other.
Right, just
Yeah,
break up all the,
Yeah,
But also, how wide are your curb cuts? I don't think you can do side by side.
you can do,
full
you
curb
can
cut.
do 16-foot wide curb cuts.
Right, and yours are much wider than that, since you've
Yeah.
got 2 spots and whatever. I mean, that's just technicality, but.
my thought was that it would break up a pattern.
Yes.
That's here and give it a more rural, which it is rural. we're
Yeah,
out of town.
but a little more informal,
Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
right.
like
and,
it belonged to each different.
the other thing I wondered about, Ray, is on the site plan, it starts with
that's-
5 fawn, 3, 2, 4. Are they going to go that way? So 5 is going to be before 3? Or
5 is going to be what?
is 5 fawn going to
Yes.
be before 3 fawn if you start at the right-hand side, and then there's Buck Hollow, and then there's 2, and then there's 4,
Correct.
and they don't go in too much order. I thought it would be interesting to see for sure what building was next to the first building, unless you're going to go by these numbers on the site plan.
Well, I think that this, Brooke can address this, I'm speculating here, but like, I think that those were the numbers assigned to the lots.
Yeah, so those lots,
Sorry.
yeah. So Diane, those lots, these lots have been in existence for, I think, at least 20 years.
I've been
Hang
there
on.
when it was owned. I was been there when it was owned by the Holgates, and he had a farm and a greenhouse and all that stuff. I remember it well.
Yes, so,
I was just thinking of the continuity of the houses going like Old South Road, whether they were going to be 5, 3, 2, and 4, or were they going to be 2, 3, 4, and 5?
the
Technically.
assessors have already named it, like,
Okay.
it's all done.
That's what I want to know. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Diane. Okay, should we start into the architecture?
Please.
All right.
Okay, can I have more general things?
Yeah, of course you can. Yes, go ahead.
So you've obviously it's gone through, zoning is. yeah.
Zoning is,
Way
this is
way
A&R, this is,
But planning board, they looked into traffic and all that,
there's, yeah, this is.
everything is in
long
the,
gone.
but you don't necessarily have to do you don't have to do 15 lots. This is what you can get out of it, but you don't necessarily have
There's
to.
10.
And 10. So my thought is, what if you took 6 fawn, which is at the end, and you made that a community pool? And you didn't, in that way, you wouldn't have to, I mean, that would take the relief off having every single one have a pool. And if that wasn't possible, which I think, but I would really limit the amount of pools. So, I mean, I wouldn't do any more than 2 or 3. I think every single one is, flying over in an airplane, it's gonna start to look like New Jersey. I don't, it's not Nantucket. It's not appropriate. It's just not. So I think and my general concept, and the other thing is coming off Old South Road, I can see that. I know you're gonna do a good job. I know it, when you turn into Buck Hollow, you're keeping the vegetation on Old South Road. I
Yes.
don't necessarily want to see fences, because I think that doesn't really build good neighbors. I think just keep that natural vegetation that it is so much on, and the bike path is nice and rural, and I think I would rather keep that than see fence.
I'm trying to text my client to find out whether or not maybe he'll pull the pool apps just for now.
Yes, me
Yeah,
too.
the pools are like, seriously, I think pulling, the discussion and certainly.
Yeah, can I maybe,
Can I say something?
yes, sir.
Although Abby in my heart, you know, if you could do a community pool on one of these lots, wouldn't that be wonderful? But there are, you know, money considerations, and we all know what a built lot like that is worth, more or less. And giving that up to a community pool is like essentially saying like, yeah, I'll do that, and then I won't make any money on the job, you
Well,
know?
it's better
like,
than
that's-
getting no pools or little spas instead, because these pools are just inappropriate.
Right, so
So
the pool
if
discussion, I think
property
it's,
can't-
you know, it's very, very unfortunate that we're not just able to sit here and review the architecture, because the pool is seriously pulling this conversation
Right,
in a lot of different directions.
yeah, I think.
Well, looking at all these,
Yeah,
they're all great looking buildings.
yeah,
I seriously, like, I don't see anything wrong with any one of them.
right.
The height is awesome.
Mm.
The massing is good. There's not so much additive massing, but some of them are, and because they're low, and that's only the front elevation, so.
Yeah. Yeah, they
Um,
definitely all work back, you know, they telescope, they do,
Yeah, they're
They do
they're
their
great looking
things.
buildings, and right at this moment, having not seen all the other elevations, my only issue are the swimming pools on the road here.
So,
These are all fine, I think it's, yeah.
you know, it is funny and ironic that like something, the pool is sort of ancillary to this, or I would consider it to be ancillary. The discussion is becoming the focus of the discussion. Because of the quantity of them and the fact that they are like literally 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are in the backyard with respect to Fawn Lane, but in the front yard with respect to Old South Road, and that's problematic.
And there's a
Um,
bike path for that.
So.
Can
Go ahead,
Can I
Diane.
ask him? No, I
Yes,
wonder, Brooke, you did that development off Bartlett Road where you put in a community pool, do you remember? And
yes,
that turned out very well, and the people seem to be very happy there, so maybe you could show your clients that, and
A
it
little
would make
spa
it,
building.
it would make it
So-
easier, it would give the people more room to do stuff, because they don't really have a lot of room. I don't know what the price of these houses are set at, sort of, but I think it would be worth a chat because you did such a good job on that other one.
I understand what you're saying. I think Finback, one of the things that drove that discussion was that they were allowed to have very narrow, small lots, and so they couldn't have had pools even if they tried. I would love if you guys would indulge me. I'd like to call my client and see whether or not he'd be interested in, you know, either making the pools on Old South Road into like spas, or just even, you know,
Yeah,
taking them off for now.
You
you
also
know,
right,
my vote is this, here's my thinking on this. I've actually already said what my thinking is on this.
Yeah.
The architectural component of this can be a seriously short discussion, you know, everyone in this room is familiar with your work. Familiar with the fact that it's sensitive, it's low scale, you know, it's actually not boxy. And this is a subdivision that is literally, you know, like across the street from Richmond, where we have approved probably going, you know, more than dozens, probably maybe even 100 applications that are essentially like prefabricated boxes. So when we look at this architecture, and I do believe I'm speaking for every member of the board, even though it's not present, you know, like we look at that and then we look at that and we say like, wow, if all of Richmond could look like that, we'd be like cheering,
Yeah.
you know, so isn't that great? And now we're kind of mired down because of the pool discussion.
Yeah.
All right, so,
well,
I would indulge, Brooke. I would allow him to consult with his client.
Yeah, I don't have any.
absolutely.
And my recommendation would be to hold the pools given what you've just heard from us.
And the playground right next door, that.
And the
means
playground
tall
right next
fences
door,
And a
yeah.
lot of security around
Yeah.
the pool.
So give me 5 minutes, because I have
Yeah,
five sections
yeah.
here. And if you guys
Okay,
want to
the
look at
meter's
the
on.
buildings.
Yeah,
Yeah, hey, so, why don't we, so while Brooke's doing that, why don't we just sort of hop on over to 2 Fawn Lane? To Carrie's point earlier of like, okay, now that we kind of get it conceptually, let's look at each, the whole bit.
So the French doors are facing in.
Oh, do you have one?
Oh,
We're getting
well,
them.
I'm sort of looking at my big site plan and then that.
Oh,
As
oh,
we-
oh,
I think
like,
they're very
You want
crisp
help,
and
if
clear.
if you're multitasking,
Yeah, I can help, do some.
I'm okay just looking at the. Plans or?
Yeah.
We can share,
Okay.
unless you object.
Yeah,
I-
no,
I
no,
feel
no.
like, I think you probably won't get it.
I probably, what?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding, come on.
All right. Okay, this is number 2.
This is 2, okay, so let's see. 2 is
On
the
the
first
corner.
thing you're gonna see, you have these 2 flanking buildings. On Old South Road, this is on one side.
Yeah.
Of Buck Hollow.
And the French
tiniest
door
street on-
side, French door side is facing west, so it's not facing Buck Hollow.
This is South Street, whatever it is, Old South Road.
Yes, correct. That's right. That's this bit. And Buck Hollow, which is going to be very, very visible, arguably the most visible part of the project, is going to be east.
East.
This, yeah. Yeah, okay. And then west, the other long elevation is facing back to the pool. That's facing the next door neighbor, and that's where the French doors are. And then on Fawn Lane, we have the so-called north, or the front elevation, which has a front door. Okay. Got it. Questions, comments? And if they get to be too substantive, I'm gonna have us wait until Brooke return.
Well, it looks, so.
Go, yeah.
Well, I'm just, it sounds like we're all jumping in, but we've got some, AC units. But it looks like, this is very, I'm sure this isn't the complete landscaping, but it looks like on either side of Buck Hollow, he's going to come in with privet edges and make an arch and go out.
Correct.
So I'm guessing that the AC units, and it also looks like they're boarded up, so
Yes.
I don't know, a lot of people have a problem with that, but I don't necessarily I don't think it's a problem for me, but I'm just pointing it out.
Okay,
Yeah, as long as they're fenced.
yeah, that's usually what we require. Carrie,
I think it's a good looking building. I don't see much that's annoying. What might, I mean, on this particular one, there is a note saying existing tree line maintained and amended. You know, those trees there are not that heavy on that
no,
front. They're really not.
Yeah,
It will
I
be
think-
visible. And then he's got a cedar board fence along the bike path, and I think that, I think that's a bit of a bummer.
Yeah, you're right.
And I wouldn't wanna have that approved along with it.
I think the
necessarily,
reason
especially-
for his cedar board fences having to do with.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yep. And
But you're right.
I mean, there are further along, there are a few big fences around and they look horrendous.
Yeah, the ones
Um,
down by past, Nausea.
Nausea, yeah,
Yeah.
there's some
You-
big
you know,
tall
you
wood
got some-
fences that
yes.
really, yeah.
They're offensive.
I could see like a heavy privet added to the existing vegetation and a 4-foot fence, a picket fence, sort of. Maybe a double picket fence, on the inside of that. But that's given that the pool's appropriate there, and I don't really think it is. I think architecturally, this is a fine, good looking building.
Which is what, yeah, like the discussion I take your comments, they will be for the landscape and the pool.
Yeah.
But, so the architecture is okay.
Yeah,
Okay, Karen, thank you. And Brooke, I will bring you up to speed. We're reviewing the architecture of your first submission, okay?
I'll go.
I'll present it for you. I'll send you the bill later.
Thank
And
you.
Diane, it's your turn.
Okay, on the east elevation, on
Yes.
the left-hand side, that, I don't know whether it's a door or whatever.
Oh, the little sunken down thing?
Yeah, my thing doesn't go any further, so I don't know what's there.
It looks like some kind of maybe basement access. I'm not sure. Brooke,
Yes,
you.
what are we on?
Oh,
Two.
This is right when you drive in.
Yes, so it's, yes, that is down to the basement.
Oh, okay. It
yeah.
just doesn't say anything and I wasn't sure. Thank you.
And actually, I think needs a fence rail in front.
Yeah.
Of it, so, it will be more, discreet than even as shown.
and it's under, just like.
And it's
Okay.
under the porch and it's in the back.
Thank you.
Yep.
Other than
Alright,
that,
so-
I have no problem with it.
Brooke, you didn't miss much. There was some discussion about fencing, which relates to the landscape and the amount of vegetation on Old South Road, which again relates to the landscape. But in terms of the architecture, we're feeling like everything is pretty much in place. The AC units were discussed, but the fact that you are housing them in the cedar enclosure is fine. So I really don't think that there were any important
Dissents.
dissents.
All right.
So,
With the boss,
what's that?
with the
Hey,
boss.
we'll get there.
Well.
Let's
here,
get this
let's-
approved
let's-
first.
Let's give Brooke this teeny tiny bit of sugar so he can give
I'm
us
not
a lot.
staying till I hear.
Okay, on the architecture, and I want to be very clear on that, on the architecture of 2 Fawn Lane and your dwelling, can we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted with the addition of a fence in front of the door going to the basement on the east elevation.
Good with that?
Yes.
Okay, so,
But no
wait,
other fences
okay,
approved.
Diane, I'm going to hold your motion just for a second because Abby had a comment. Go ahead, Abby.
All right, so 2 and 3 are on either side of Buck Hollow, and I want to know the color, the trim color, so that when
Good,
you.
right,
when you
right.
come
That is on
in,
the
you
application.
lay-
Okay, so here, let's see.
Black sash.
Black sash.
Okay, so Quaker gray trim,
Mhm,
black sash, Folger blue front door,
mhm.
and the Anderson doors will be black. So I think the 2 and 3, because they're on either side of Buck Hollow, I have them as non-white colors so that they don't, attack you when you come in.
I sort of have an issue with black 6/1.
Well,
Yeah,
Sounds
yeah,
like
so
a fetish.
let's talk.
It's just one of these
Let's
things, I
get it
think
right.
6/1.
Hey, Diane, I'm gonna hold your motion, okay? Because one thing that we did not discuss was the color, so that seems to be coming up now. Is that all right? I think you're muted, dear. I think.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll just put the color
Okay,
in.
we're gonna hold the motion just for a second so we can, discuss the color, which we.
Yeah.
did. Okay, so problem with black sash.
6/1s and 6/6s are so uber traditional and cottagey that black to me is not appropriate. Black is more of the modern, even though it's Victorian 2/1s, it still seems more appropriate because there's not as much of it. I would think more appropriate would be white with the 6/6, 6/1 options, buildings, and black or another color for the 2/2s.
Okay,
It's just a traditional thing in my mind.
But the fact that they're adjacent to gray and not a white trim. If you put white windows next to gray trim,
Well, no,
And
I
you
think
kinda
she
have
may
to-
have been saying to change the palette to white.
oh, the whole
On the
thing.
whole building.
On the 6/1s, you've got
Oh, so the,
1,
the building,
2,
So the building would be white.
so all the buildings with the
Right.
6/1s,
yeah, sorry, yep.
I'm just trying to understand.
Because, you know, I appreciate the idea of, having a non-white sort of entryway so that it's quieter, but, you know, I'm hearing what's being said about the black.
Or what about the beigey color, the sand tone to really tone it down? Actually,
Yeah,
it's
I'm with
actually,
Brooke.
Yeah.
The problem with Anderson is they gotta come up with another gray.
yeah,
That sand
they're
tone
the
looks so muddy.
It's horrible.
And what is and what is,
I have clients with
What is-
it.
what is 3? Can we look up 3? I just wanna, my
What
point,
do you
my
mean?
question.
What's the color
Yes,
palette?
yeah, my question, like, it's because I want it to read when you come in, like, ta-da, like these are gonna be.
So I think this
Oh,
one,
so if you're looking for the
Three
ta-da, maybe we
on-
should go white.
3 on that, we're looking
Oh.
at 2.
oh,
So
actually,
3 is a 2/2. And 2 across from it is a 6/1, so just flip the colors, so the 6/1 is white and then 2/2 is black, and you get a white on one side and black on the other.
so so 3 fawn is actually black sash with white trim.
I think that's what you.
Yeah, it's already, that's
Black
already,
sash,
So,
white
so,
trim.
so what Harry is suggesting is the appropriateness of black on a 2/2, which apparently is the other building flanking.
Mhm.
Sort of
Yeah.
serendipitously is the other building. So if you flipped the color palette. And this building with our 6/1s became the white one.
Mhm.
yeah, so that's fine. I mean, I just don't have too many white ones in
No,
there.
oh man.
So-
I'm
You only
completely
have
100%.
3 6/1 buildings in here,
Right, but
right,
that's
so
not what
that's
the
3
application,
white ones.
yeah, so, yeah, that's fine.
And a beige trim, a gray trim with that white,
You're okay with that?
I'm not, great, wait,
Gray
a
on white,
gray or a beige trim on a white,
oh,
White
gray,
sash.
like a warm gray
Gray.
or a,
no beige.
White sash,
I'm thinking like a cobblestone or whatever. White sash where you have 6/1s. 2/2s can be black
no,
or
but
white.
Carrie, to say on that. What I thought you were saying is if it's white sash, then the trim would be white as well.
It could be, or it could be a
it
soft
should be,
gray.
It should be.
it
Because
absolutely.
the
fine.
white, white sash with gray trim is,
That's
I'm not
fine.
loving that.
Then, but I feel the same way about black sash with white trim. I think it's too
Well,
stark of a
that's kind of
contrast.
very Main Street, the
Mm.
black and white thing.
Mhm.
It's like federal style Main Street.
Black with gray is nice.
Black with gray is nice.
But black with gray as a 2/2 versus black with gray as a 6/2.
Yes,
All
exactly.
right, so,
So why don't
Let
we
me-
have
let me-
white? Why don't we
So-
have white with gray on this building? White sash.
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah, it's
with the-
funny,
with the
I don't know
warm
where Abby
gray.
is on
Yeah.
this, but, and I will certainly go with the majority, because I don't want to hold this up, but my own view is like, I don't think that white sash with gray trim it's like backwards. You know, it's supposed to be like the other way around, but,
Or all one color, you
Or-
know.
Let's
well,
go
yeah,
all
so
white
I'm saying if it's
That
white
is
sash,
very traditional.
that, you know, I would be more in favor of white everything.
okay,
Let's
so
do
all the 6/1s can be white with white trim.
Great.
Well, that's what
Yeah,
what I.
that's,
Me too.
I think
And
that's a
Diana-
good thing.
Okay, then I think we have liftoff here. So on this particular project, this application being 2 Fawn Lane, the consensus view is that the trim color, the architecture will be just as we see it, and the trim color will simply go to white trim, white sash. Now,
Yes,
to further split that hair, the French doors and the front door you had down as
So the front door was Folger blue, but I think that would work.
That will-
Yeah, that would work.
Regardless.
That would work.
And the doors should obviously be white as well.
Okay, everybody good with
Yeah,
that?
yes.
Totally.
All right, so I think so Diane, we're back to your motion. I think that the only change to the motion would be for it to be approved with the color change or the color changing to white sash and white trim and keep the Folger blue on the entry door.
That's right. That's the color.
And that is your motion?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you for the motion, Diane, and I'm going to now pull the board on the motion. On that motion, Harry,
Aye.
thank you, Abby,
Aye.
Diane on your motion.
Aye.
Very good, and I'm in favor too. Thank you, Brooke. Okay, so we're off to the races. Now, you got your approval, so tell us something really nice that you're planning.
All right, so what do you think? Instead of pools in the front, we have the 1,000-gallon and under spa, which would probably be less than 7 by 7 wide, or 7 by 7 dimension.
Thanks.
And that's much more easily screened.
And much more easily shoved way up towards the street.
Yes,
Away from
Yeah, it
there,
can be shoved away from the road, it can be,
heavily planted,
Heavily
because
planted.
you realize this is not that heavily planted right now.
Yeah,
It's
you
really
were out in the room, but I think I'm pretty sure she's right. Like when I drive by there, I can see
yeah.
inside, like I can see into the site,
I know my client wants that to be private,
of course.
because you don't sell houses that have roads running by them.
Correct, that's right.
Oh,
So,
1 and 20 on this.
you 1 inch was 20? What do you want to know?
So what does that look like?
You said 7 by 7, right, Brooke?
Yes, so we can't go any bigger than that.
I think that we're limited, we're limited to the volume. I can't remember how many gallons are in a cubic foot. I think it's like 3 gallons per cubic foot. Does anybody know?
I think 5 by 5 is a small spot, and you don't go, yeah, okay. You wanna see what, all right, all right.
But,
No, I'm
and
just
those
saying.
are gonna be, if we approve them, they're gonna be, I mean, I'm gonna say that they need to be tucked up close to the building. Leaving plenty of space for planting and.
Well, so what I just drew, which theoretically could be like an exhibit A.
But this is, we're not doing the pools right now. We're
Well,
doing the architecture.
He's negotiating.
I think what he's saying is if we can review these things now, and we're talking about pools and spas, he would like it done now.
If we can do it, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the
Can you
location.
search the gallons per cubic foot? I mean, I can do all of this stuff in my head pretty quick.
Yes,
Do what stuff in there?
The gallon calculation to give you an idea of,
Oh, so I did draw 7 by 7.
yeah,
Are
that
you
should work,
thinking
yeah.
that?
Yeah, I mean, that should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Brooke, there is your 7 by 7 spa. It's located close to the house, further away from
Yeah.
Old South.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
You know, and if we
Here,
want
and
to,
here.
simplify, what we'll do is we'll just draw these little 7 by 7 squares in the place of the 4 pools that we're now looking at. And the understanding would be, particularly on the Old South Roadside, that we're gonna enhance the vegetation.
100%.
Okay, so with those general parameters in mind, and this little drawing that I did on this site plan, which we could do as an exhibit A. We are now officially on to the pool and hardscape for the same lot. Okay, so. What's been discussed?
But we don't have applications for that.
Yes, there are, it's right here.
Oh, you have them, okay.
Yeah, but we're gonna kind of severely mind.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But what do we do with the master plan and then let him then update his drawings to reflect? for the
Yeah, I mean,
actual
it would be similar to
I-
like exhibit A through staff.
I think administratively, we should look at the application, so it can be,
Noted on there.
noted on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah, so this is, yeah, and you can,
Oh, so they're small. So they're not like massive.
yeah, they're not massive.
Okay.
Oh,
So that, all the pool applications look like that.
So, to reiterate, where we are is we're reviewing the pool and hardscape for the same lot that we just approved the house for. So the following things, some of which, Brooke, you were out of the room for, were comments regarding the enhancement of the vegetation on the old South Roadside. Were there thoughts about the fencing?
Yes.
Because Carrie sort of elaborated on this, and maybe she should just say what she said again for you.
I feel like big wooden fences close to the bike path is not appropriate, that more planting of natural vegetation, trees and things. And then a hedge and a 4-foot fence, but now that we're reducing these, I wonder. If because I just don't think a fence right on the property line is a great idea on Old South Road. There are a few and they're not appropriate.
Right, and what height fence were you?
I was thinking 4 feet. I mean, these
Oh,
would,
4.
Yeah.
Okay.
and they were also, you know, the intent was to put them on the inside of the vegetation. So they wouldn't necessarily be seen.
Are you gonna do hedging or?
We're gonna plant, you know, like large arborvitae and hopefully keep most of what's naturally there and just fill in.
I would do that.
Because that's, I mean, you know, I think, I think that my client has a certain frugality that might drive that equation, so I think it makes sense to him to keep what is already there and
Oh,
to.
Frugality.
Brooke,
I'll give it frugality.
we're all in favor of keeping as much existing vegetation.
Yeah.
But with the understanding that it will be, you know, enhanced.
Yes,
Because I like.
May I make a-
it.
May
Go
I
ahead,
make a
Diane.
suggestion?
Yes, of course.
I think if you look down at Birdland and see what they have an interesting, tell her what it is, tell her what Birdland
Richmond.
is.
Oh.
Because all the streets are named after birds.
Oh.
Or no, actually, some of,
Flowerland.
isn't that why it's called
us-
bird?
Us in the post office refer to it as Birdland, so it was very easy. Anyway, they have some very good and mixed vegetation along there, just to get,
Naushop, sorry. Naushop is the road where it's all named birds. I.
Yeah, they do have good vegetation at night.
Yeah,
Great
they-
vegetation.
and they saved a lot from when it went in. They have some trees that are interesting, but they're there. I think it would be a good continuation from there to the playground and then to this. My concern, which just came up when we were talking about the fences with the playground, that is not particularly a supervised playground. We need to think about kids finding their way into people's pools when they're not home and what they need to do to protect them. Because you don't have an automatic cover on a 7x7, or maybe you do, I don't know.
that's fine.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know the regs on a spot. You know, about fencing and stuff like
Well,
that.
again, I think that especially along the land bank side, we already are planning on having fencing there
Mhm.
anyway, and I think regardless of whether or not these were auto cover or not, we definitely wanted to fence that side completely.
And I would do, because on your notes, it is mesh fence in vegetation, but at the pools, I would put 5-foot fences so kids are not being able to see the pool, because seeing it, it's just an enticement. And there's just 2 along that side, one. It's really just that one, a
I'm
stretch
sorry,
in the
Karen,
back.
you're
of the
really
solid
talking
fence.
about the edge. You're
Yeah.
talking about the edge that we haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah, so
It's an
let's focus
inconsequential
I mean,
side, but
let's
yeah,
stay,
it's
let's
okay.
stay on,
on track.
2 Fawn Lane.
So if privacy
It's not this
measures
meeting,
are
Brooke.
part of
I'm
it,
supposed to be saying
Yeah, and
this.
also you've got us out on a Thursday and we're giving you.
I know.
100%
How
attention.
about it? Okay, but we should focus on 2. because I'm kind of certain that we're not gonna get all the way around your cul-de-sac, today. But so with respect to two, we're talking about enhancing the vegetation on the Old South Roadside. We are dropping it down to a 7x7 spa as opposed to a pool. I think in so doing, you're gonna reduce the amount of hardscape, right? You're gonna get more lawn, less hardscape.
I'm gonna make a suggestion
Yes.
about a fence. If you feel the need for a fence because you are on Old South Road and there is a bike path and there's issues with people wandering into your property, I would bring it up equal to the line of the end of the house for the spa area. And then you have garden and grass and trees to Old South beyond that. But I still am against having any fence right up to the bike path. I just don't think it's.
Oh, I agree with that, but like if he's sticking the fence behind all the vegetation so that we're not seeing much of it.
Yeah, I mean, the vegetation comes in about 10 feet. from the
Yeah, I
property
feel
line.
like there's-
Plus there's like a 2.5 foot, no build easement, from the days of the bike path.
I'm on my bike today.
Excellent.
So I think we all want the same thing. And I don't think that putting a fence all the way up at the spa makes a lot of sense because then, because then it essentially ruins the backyard.
We're not suggesting that.
It's fine.
We're just suggesting that the fence isn't like right in your face when you're going down the bike path.
Yeah.
Wait a lot of.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll be able to hide the fence behind the vegetation.
Yeah.
That's what we do normally. If you put a fence between you and your neighbor, you put vegetation. in
Well,
front of it.
then let's make that as part of the motion.
Yeah, so let's draw a fence back here somewhere. Does somebody have the reduced, here it is. And may I borrow a pen from someone?
Yeah,
Thank you.
well, I don't know.
Why not from the outdoor shower over?
Because that's 20 feet in. That's more than 20 feet.
Yeah, I was intending to,
I mean, people need a yard too.
yeah.
Yes.
Not having to.
Yes,
Pool,
more than they-
Yeah, so we put the fence
like that.
See, I would,
10 feet in, and that's
I would-
plenty.
where's 10 feet, bro?
It's twice what the setback
Oh,
is.
twice the setback, okay, so here. Basically, at the bottom of the verbiage, it says existing tree line, that's where the fence would go.
Yeah.
Which is sort of right at the fringe of the, what you're showing, and then that's gonna return back to the house, right?
Yes,
Or to the privet.
or it'll just die.
Like that.
Yeah.
Now, sadly, Diane can't see this.
To the shower.
So as may, can you just do your little cursor to show Diane where we're showing?
I can quickly scan it.
You're going to the shower. I was going to the house. Or to the privet.
I would like to, these lots are small, so if we can keep some yard that's not fenced in.
Wait,
Like
so
coming across here
so
and
which-
then
which-
down to the privet.
which option are you preferring?
I would prefer this one as opposed to one that.
Fine,
Yeah.
fine.
Or
Sorry,
even-
don't scan that.
Or even here. You know, just-
Yeah.
To the privet.
Yeah, or just to the edge of the house.
And it is, it's sort of, obviously some.
Yeah.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
And there's a spa. Okay. There, we scan that, that can also, so Diane can see it. Diane, we're gonna show you what we've been talking about at the table, okay? And,
Okay.
and then if this is passing muster with you and with the other members, I think we can move this one along. Miracles of modern technology. So she's
Now,
gonna-
why the 15 light, or that's, what is that? That's
That's
12 light, but why that with 2 over 2?
Because it's a wide door and have a 4/4. or-
Is this the next application? Sorry, you guys looking at number 3?
Yeah, we jumped in.
Oh, no, that's.
Oh,
I think
You're not talking
I
about.
think this one's black.
Two's been
So
approved.
it's not gonna
2 is approved.
read.
Who's been approved architecturally?
Yeah. no,
Yes, and I think that we might be close to getting the landscape approved as well. So,
Where is that?
So I know we're sort of jumping back and forth, but I'm watching the time and I would like to be efficient. So we are reviewing. Poor Esme is multitasking like crazy today.
Well, this is a.
Diane, some of us are reviewing the next application, which is 3 Bond.
So are you asking for revisions on the landscaping? Is that where
Oh, hell
we're
yeah.
just leaving? Okay.
No,
So
no,
we're determining it.
wait, okay, everybody.
I agree with what you got for 2. I agree with the spa is and everything else. That'll be good. I have no problem with that.
Fantastic. Okay, so Esme, could you just write down on that document? That will be,
Exhibit A.
Exhibit A, all right? And so the motion can be, approved through staff as per Exhibit A.
I make that motion.
Okay, Diane has made that motion. Thank you, Diane. On the motion, Carrie,
Aye.
Abby.
Nay.
Oh, Abby's a nay. Yeah, right. Abby's a nay. Diane, on your motion?
Hey, yes.
Okay, and I'm in favor. So that motion carries 3 in favor, 1 opposed. Thanks for adding that. Okay, so that's 1 house down. Now we're gonna move our attention over to 3. And if we can get, for your benefit, Diane, the architectural component of 3 up on the, thank you. Up to you. Oh, well then I'll keep 4. I'll keep this. Okay, so,
Keep the map. Thanks.
it's helpful.
Architecturally, I like this one too.
Yeah, it's funny, you know. The irony is that architecture has been figured very little, I think, into this, discussion.
Where?
Okay, so, that is 3 that we got up there, right?
That is correct.
I like that it has different rakes and overhangs and all that. And the 2 over 2.
South is on both south. Okay, so I will introduce, while you're reviewing the architecture. What did we decide with respect to the colors? Are these sash now going to black?
These are
And
black,
gray.
black.
Black sash, gray trim.
Gray trim, and I think, where's the application, is that? I've got white trim, black sash, but we can go with Quaker gray.
Yeah, that's what
Like
we're,
the
that's
gray, I
where
like
we
that.
wanna go.
Yep.
That's
Not
where we wanna
almost
go.
from-
Well, there's
No,
gonna be a
I'm not.
couple, you're gonna have to go.
What is one color that is new and light gray? It's like, it looks purple on a gray day. With black side.
Is that an Anderson?
It's not platinum. Platinum doesn't go purple,
No,
but there is a deep plum gray.
But
But
there's
it's
one
not
that's a
like,
bright plum and on a gray day.
I gotta get the chips.
Oh, I
from
know.
somebody.
I really like Valley Forge tan, it's sort of, I don't know if you, it's right in between like a Quaker and a,
Is it platinum or more? I got the
yeah,
thing right.
Oh, we're not talking about the Anderson color.
no, the Anderson colors, it's either black or white.
Right.
The Santone,
No, they've seen them.
I know, I'm just saying,
Okay,
and for this, for our purposes, there are no
These are
other,
just black and white.
it's just gonna be black and white, because Santone is a horrible
That's the
color.
one.
Brown is a horrible color. The green just fades, which even though I like it, nobody likes to.
Valley Fort Brown. Is that what you
Valley
said?
Forge tan.
Hey, Diane,
Yes.
do you,
Yep.
have you taken a look at Brooks' architecture here for this site? And if so, do you have any comments or questions?
No, the only thing I was wondering about is the 12 over 12, the 12 pane sliding doors, whether that should be less or not. And he has used this before, so I just want him to know that I see it. the railing on the second floor. That's
Oh,
not my favorite thing, so I had to say,
the cable rail thing, yeah.
yes,
You know, fortunately, that faces into the site like the other house did.
yes, it always does, and he's very good at hiding it. I just have to
try.
trick him a
It's not
little
an
bit.
It's not an HTC favorite. It's not gonna make the greatest hits list. Okay, thank you, Diane. And so were you listening in on the color conversation?
Yes,
So what's on the
I-
table now is black sash on this one with gray trim,
Quaker gray.
Quaker gray trim,
Quaker gray. I go with the Quaker gray, yes.
okay? All
Yeah.
right, so is there any further discussion on the architecture?
Are we going around the table or just yelling out? Is this a power session?
Well,
Sort of-
Diane sounded like she was okay with the architecture,
I'm good.
so if you have anything to say, let.
Well, I do think that the French doors are an odd shape. I really think that they should just be normal 36. I think these are what, 40, and they look
They're-
sort of squat to me. So I think they should be.
They are they 48?
So that is a larger slider because I didn't want to run, I didn't want to have a bunch of glass in the back there. I'm hoping that the
This is
fact,
on South.
Old South Road, I'm hoping that the fact that it is a black door and it's under a porch, that will help mitigate any of those concerns.
What if you divide it into 4 lights, because then the panes are quite proportional with the.
Yeah, I'm fine with the.
Yeah,
four
Anderson
lights.
does that?
36 and 6. 36 and
Yeah, they'll do whatever.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah. So
Yeah, I think that's better.
They're
Four
proposed
lights?
so.
4 lights each, they're both, and they're proportional with the 2/2.
Oh, yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, let's do that.
It's still kind of chunky, but.
Okay,
I mean,
it is more in keeping with the window layout. Carrie, anything?
No, that was my thing too, so I'm good.
So your thing being, instead of it being a 12 light panes, or doors, it would be 2 4 light doors, correct?
Right on.
Okay,
Yeah.
I do like that.
this is-
It'll tell you facing.
And what color is the front door?
What color is the front door?
Older red.
Bolder blue, I love the bolder.
Yeah, that's pretty.
It's not.
Okay, one more down. Motion to approve. Too early.
No.
Really racy with those wires.
I know. but
Yes,
She's
yeah.
trying to face them, Diane.
It's so minuscule, and I think it's on the side where it'll be.
Your motion is going to be approved, but through staff with the sliders being 4 light
4 light,
and the colors, yeah,
Quaker gray, black sash,
right,
folder blue door.
right. That is Carrie's motion. On that motion, Diane,
Aye,
thank you. Abby,
I'd like a red door, but I'm an eye.
okay, we'll get you a red door somewhere here. Carrie on your motion.
Aye.
And I'm in favor too. Okay, that's 2 down.
Hey.
Well, so let's do our landscaping here because we're gonna, Brooke has given us a spa here.
Nice
Spa
shot.
rooms.
Nice shot.
Oh, thanks. Pure luck. Like I've probably tried to make a basket, in basketball,
Never.
and I literally have never been able to get it in.
I'm sorry.
Like, no matter how hard I try.
Yeah.
I could stand on the ladder and drop it and it would like hit the rim and bounce off.
I
So,
do have an idea about further, because I don't think I'm gonna go from on the South Road, but I do have an idea about later shapes
I had a.
of the swimming pools. They don't always have to be rectangles.
Yeah, but it's so expensive doing other.
Yeah.
It's more. It is.
Well-
I have.
You can do drop-ins, you know, you can do drop-ins like, free.
Oh, you mean that's time for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That
Good.
can be showing.
Oh, thanks so much for doing that. Okay, so now I signed this.
Yeah, that's
Sorry, Abby, I missed your point on the pool.
Well, I just want, in general, I'm shying away from the Old South Road, but in the back, I was just commenting that not every pool has to be a rectangle. You can do like lap pools and they can be really effective looking, you know, a long strip of light at night, you know, it could be.
Just like a narrower pool.
Yeah,
Well, let's, you know, we'll take these.
Well, Karen,
I think we should shove this spot all the way up to the end of the
Well, how about
patio.
here? How about here, so it's not so far from the porch and not right on the fence.
I will go here.
Yeah.
And then you can
okay,
fence-
so get further down, right?
fence here,
Yeah.
10 feet in.
Yeah.
And then end it there.
Same kind of rules.
Oh.
Okay,
So that could be exhibit A.
let me see what you two agreed to.
Okay.
And we're gonna do, sorry, Esme. this
That's
is
okay.
Total power session. for you, but we're
Just
gonna-
hold up.
In-
Ray, just
I'm-
hold up. Just hold up the paper and I can look at it with you holding it. I don't need to
Do
see it on
you
the
really
board.
think, okay, well, we'll give that a try, and maybe we can save Esme some hardship.
No, the owl is the camera.
Oh, the owl is the camera. Cool. Oh, gosh, yeah, you're gonna be,
there.
Yeah,
You
that's fine.
Diane?
Yep.
It's sort of in the
Okay.
upper patio.
it's like a
Yep.
flip version of what we approved on the other side of Buck Hollow.
And the
Right, and it
fence,
makes a nice place for them to have something for their kids and whatever. It's, and a lawn and a garden. That's good.
Exactly. Okay,
Okay.
all right, so we got another exhibit A going. So does somebody want to move this?
And this is a 4 foot, type 2 fence,
4
or
foot.
is it full?
We're gonna go with board, again, privacy from the bike path.
Is that noted on here?
It's part of the application.
Okay, I'm just gonna write down on our exhibit A that it is gonna be.
It's behind the vegetation, right?
Correct,
Yes.
yes, it is. I'm gonna write 4 foot high board fence.
10
We'll-
feet in,
10 feet in,
vegetation on
10
south,
feet.
both sides of the
in, line. Enhanced vegetation.
on Old South Roadside. Don't know who's gonna be doing the installation, gotta make sure they have the room.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably Jesse.
Okay, can somebody move, the pool and hardscape on 3 Fawn, as per exhibit A? And,
So move that motion.
okay, thank you, Diane. On Diane's motion, Carrie, very good. Abby,
no,
okay, and Diane on your motion?
Aye.
And I'm in favor. So that motion again carries 3 in favor, 1 opposed. Okay, very good. Thank you, everyone. And
killer.
we're sort of running down on time a little bit, but let's see what we can do about, we're now to
We get the next two on Old South done?
4 Fawn.
4 Fawn.
Yeah, which is on Old South Road.
Mhm.
Felicitously, 4 and 5 are both on Old South. And honestly, those are gonna be like the most, if we want to use the word difficult applications, you know, because of the Old South component. So it's good getting those out of the way.
Thank you.
This is for- So this is black.
6 light French doors.
I don't see anything up on the board.
You don't?
No, just you guys.
Oh,
There's Brooke. There's Carrie. Architecturally, you're lovely. Thank you.
How about that, Diane? Can you see now?
That's good. Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you. 5,
For 5, yes,
yeah.
and where are all these French doors facing?
Facing west.
Okay, to the, It's been wild to it.
I would change the French doors to 4 light or 6 light again.
Oh, yeah.
These are black.
It just draws so.
Oh,
much
yeah.
attention.
So let's get the color out of the way. Black,
But these are cobblestone. Okay, just indulge. Well, I'm trying to mix this up,
This is
Wait,
black
what's
with cobblestone
cobble?
trim.
the trim,
That's nice and warm. I like that. I think that's
black
great.
and cobblestone.
And 4 light,
Yeah,
they're a
4 light.
little, they're a little skinny, but maybe 6 light, no. What do you
maybe
think?
in my head, I'm getting sand tone and cobblestone mixed up.
No, there's.
Cobblestone is sort of like, it's almost like a yellowish.
It's
It's
almost
a
like
beige
pants.
gray.
Yeah, it's, no, it's a little yellow.
No, it's a warm gray.
A lot of, it's,
Cobblestone is like almost like a. Yeah,
It's an approved.
It's got a-
color.
it's
has
got
been
green in it.
approved
Oh.
many times, especially at Ellen's Way.
So I don't want to have, personal preference.
No. but it's
So,
totally
let's
approvable.
rein it in and let's go to the architecture. Because I would like to hear any comments that any of you have on the architecture of this building.
I think it's great.
Okay, that's Abby.
I agree, with the door change to either 4 light or 6 light.
Oh, God, yeah, that's right. Okay, how about you, Diane?
Yeah, I'm fine, except just if we could make the sliding doors simpler.
Yeah, so the on the table is going to 4 light or 6 light. Probably 6, right?
I think they're a little
Because they're
narrow
narrow.
for 4.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they would feel very slender.
yeah.
So the idea is that all of the French doors on the west elevation would go to 6 light as opposed to 12 light.
Right.
Other than that, you're good?
How do you decide on the chimneys? You have 2.
Some of them have gas fireplaces and some of them have real fireplaces.
Well, and also, it's kind of like the pool concept, the community pool. Brooke has certain houses that have fireplaces that everyone will get to go
Oh,
to enjoy the fireplace. all
Bring
together,
yours.
As opposed to each
Bring
one
your
having their
toys.
own separate fire.
I like this community.
Yeah,
I wish I could afford it.
there's certain buildings.
I
you'd be
realize
like
that's
that, welcome to our house, bring your eggnog and you can enjoy our fire. Okay, so
Kindling.
can I have a motion on the architecture
Can
of?
I make it, because I have been so hard on the.
Can.
Motion to approve. Did we change anything?
Yes, the doors is 6 light.
Doors
All the
go-
French doors,
French
6
doors
light.
going to 6 light.
Okay, French door is going to 6 light and, per exhibit.
There is no.
There's no exhibit.
No exhibit. No,
We don't need one.
everything
No.
else is good, through
We don't
staff.
need the minutes.
Okay, Abby, thank you for that motion. On that motion, Diane,
Aye,
thank you, Carrie.
Aye.
Very good, Abby, on your motion.
Aye.
And I'm in favor too. All right, so that's that. Now, our notorious and infamous pool and hardscaping. And this is gonna be another spa arrangement.
This is our last.
It might just be,
We should get done all these hard ones.
I'm willing to stick around for a little while.
I am too.
Cut through it. Since we seem to have like a. we have-
roll.
Other people
we're on a
on the
roll.
board want to join in on
We're on a roll. They can do the
Oh,
back
they can
lot.
do the back ones, yeah, they,
the.
those other people.
I just can't get here.
I think this pool needs to be tucked up here, where there's grass,
Show me.
here.
Oh, that's the one we just approved.
No,
Oh, we're
that's the one we're
yeah.
on.
Sorry.
Well, I like that.
Oh, it's too close to the outdoor shower. but-
Not too close to anyone with a movie after the shower. That.
Mm,
It would be good.
It needs to be a part of the public not something that you go down to, it's, it's gotta be somewhere where it can be relatable to.
Those two are duking it out over there, so,
We're
Well-
sure ready.
what did you guys, did you come up with anything?
Not yet.
Broker.
Not an agreement.
I
What
do
you guys
want
think?
it like the other pools, I want it to, since it's pool, spas. I want it further away from Old South Road.
So
So in the upper right corner,
I want it
7,
here
7.
so that it relates somewhat to the interior.
Yeah.
And Carrie wants it like way up there.
Well,
Upper
listen,
right
this
corner.
this one's here.
The upper right corner is okay.
Well,
What, you want
Well,
it-
Out of the front
Hold
door.
hold on. When you say upper right corner,
Of
what,
where the pool is.
oh,
Yeah,
that's
that's
where we
where I
have
have it.
one?
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay,
yeah. I'm
So,
okay with that.
all right. Again, Diane, what we're gonna do is
Yep,
we're
I
gonna
saw-
show you,
I-
and I think you know
It's
where we're
what-
talking?
Yeah, it's gonna be up there where they've got that gate coming through from where the cars are parked, right?
Well, so if you look at where the pool is, the current pool, take the upper right-hand corner of that pool and turn it into a spa,
Yeah,
which is very similar to what we did on the house right next door to it. So are
right.
you okay with that? And then it would be the
Yep.
same deal with the enhanced vegetation. Oh, here you go, Diane.
I don't know.
Yep.
Can you see that?
I see somebody. See?
That's fine. That's what I thought you were doing.
Okay,
Okay.
And the fence,
yeah, we just approved it.
the fence, same. thing,
Same deal,
there,
yeah,
over,
10 feet,
And, yeah, and so this is exhibit A.
yeah.
And are
On
we
that- on
noting
that,
the
just-
size of these things, 7 by 7?
7 by 7. And could you just write, 4 foot high board fence, 10 feet off property line. Enhanced vegetation between property line and board fence
In perpetuity.
in perpetuity, sure,
Don't forget that.
add that. Okay, so Carrie's drafting up an exhibit A on the pool and hardscape for 4 Pond Lane.
And we have
Um,
the colors. We have the colors.
Of the house, that's already
Yeah.
done.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all set. So this is landscape stuff. Would somebody give me a motion? And I know.
I'll
it's
make
not-
a motion
Okay,
to do
thank you.
that.
All right, so Diane's motion is to approve the pool and hardscape on 4 Fawn Lane as per exhibit A. That's Diane's motion. On the motion, Abby? Abby's no, and Carrie,
Aye.
and Diane on your motion,
Aye.
and I'm in favor too. Okay, so that motion once again carries 3 in favor, 1 opposed. That does it for 4 Fawn, and if we have enough energy and momentum, we can do number 5. And then we've covered everything on Old South Road. Go ahead.
And this is the.
Oh, that's,
the fourth.
Sorry.
It's about that, isn't it?
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, thanks. Yes, that's the one. Maybe it's the house. That's the house. That's the house before.
That's, sorry, no, this is the pool.
Oh,
This was the
Can I
house.
just say, oh, we gotta change that,
Yeah,
okay.
once we receive the second, or you can change it then.
7 feet by, 7 feet,
7 by 7.
oh, thank you. Good point.
yeah.
All right, so now we're reviewing the house at 5. Did you get that right? Yes, I did.
What is this, the community pool one?
Yeah.
Um,
No, it's on the other.
no,
side.
that's the other side.
The other side.
Yeah, so this is the part.
What I thought we were doing.
We may have some additional considerations on. Oh, but Right at the moment, we're just discussing the architecture.
Mhm.
So while,
Playground.
yes, one of the two,
Same door issue. For me,
fine.
the cable railing is facing right on Old South Road on the second floor. I would say not to do that.
We
Yeah.
can make that shingle.
Shingle parapet the
Yeah,
whole way.
You don't
Right, Brooke?
across and see the.
Shingle parapet.
the others are
Yeah, shingle.
on an angle.
Okay. Brooks conceding shingle parapet the whole way, no cable rail. Good. Door
Back and
change.
forth with my client. Oh.
Yeah, I do. Gotcha.
6 light doors.
Light doors, correct. What's our color palette on this one? What is the,
We have cobblestone trim, black sash, front door Essex, and black Anderson.
Depression.
okay, so this does square the black with the 2/2. Yes, good. Cobblestone trim. And Essex green door, you said, right? I
Yes.
think so. Yeah. All right. So in terms of architecture and colors, so far from Carrie, I have heard 6 light doors on the French doors like we had done in the previous. And we're getting rid of the cable rail because it's facing Old South Road. We're just gonna do a shingle parapet wall there. Anything else?
I am good.
Okay, Carrie's good. Abby?
Yeah, the colors aren't my favorite, but it's.
Not mine either, but you know, it's not exactly, it's been done before. Diane,
Yep, that's all right.
okay, I think we have
Probably not
lift off. If we could have a motion to include a couple of through staff things, somebody want to hazard?
Motion to approve
Yep.
6 light French doors
Yep,
and no cable rail on the balcony facing south elevation.
which would mean a parapet. wall,
Parapet, yeah.
Shingled parapet
Single
wall
parapet.
on the south elevation.
Yeah.
And that is Carrie's motion. On Carrie's motion, Diane,
Aye.
thank you, Abby.
I,
Very good. Carrie on your motion.
Aye.
And I'm in favor. So that motion carries all in favor. All right, so now you've got 4 houses to do.
Golden child.
Yeah.
Where are we gonna put the pool?
Well, that's what we're gonna get to now.
Pool is hard. I don't know where you're gonna do it unless you move the house.
I see. Okay, I thought it said left.
Oh, yeah, it does say that. It looks like it's 6 light. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we have a little bit of an additional consideration here.
I would just say no.
Yeah, you can say no, but you can still advise. You know, so this is another one of our spa things, right? Brooke?
Yes.
We all
Yes.
agree with that? And again, it's gonna go in the corner of the pool that's closest to the house, I would think.
Yes.
You know,
Where you want
right?
it.
Okay, and then we'll have the same sort of deal with respect to our border with Old South Road, the 10 feet back fence, right?
And, yep.
And I have a feeling that Carrie's, she's doing a sketch.
And I think on this corner, well, it's a 4 foot, okay, yeah. Cause you wanna go
Yes,
like all the way up there at the fence,
I think so.
like to
Yeah,
the,
and connect it.
connect it all the way up. Oh, good, that's even better.
Did we write in perpetuity on all those? We did not, but I can make sure.
I think we should make the,
I said in perpetuity in most of them.
Well, it made it explicitly onto one document, but not to all of them.
I'll write it on this one.
Okay, yeah,
So 7, Bob.
add that.
And
So Diane, just to keep you in the loop on this, Carrie is doing a visual for us that shows the extent of the fencing. and
we
where
can
the,
turn on yet.
where the spa is. And then we'll have the same sort of verbiage on there that we have on the others,
Right,
okay?
yes.
Thing is on.
Okay, so here comes your,
Do you see it there, Diane?
Okay,
Oh, yeah, I
yep,
see it.
I
got
see
it?
it, that's good. Yep,
Okay. Have you completed?
I got it, and I'm okay with it.
About 10-foot vegetation on South Roadside of 4-foot solid board fence in perpetuity.
Sounds good.
Right.
All right, so I think that we got another exhibit A for our 5 on lane pool and hardscape. So can somebody move that?
I'll move it.
Thanks, Diane. Okay, so Diane has moved to approve the pool and hardscape subject to some revisions as per exhibit A. All those in, no, not all those in favor of. On that motion, Carrie.
Aye.
Thank you. Abby.
Nay.
Very good. Diane.
Aye,
All right, and I'm in favor. So that motion carries 3 in favor, 1 opposed. And that, I think, was time well spent.
Thank you
Very,
very
very
much.
well spent.
Yeah, nicely
And
done.
it sort of paved the way for the rest of the application. And honestly, looking, at a regular agenda with that big block of stuff, just like,
Yes.
I just need
That
to
is, I.
get something to move forward.
It takes it out of the realm of being observed.
Well, with the thing, imagine reviewing this block of stuff, and of course, there's more to review, and having people sitting in the audience and being on Zoom, like for that entire time, it's just not.
On these, we really go back and forth. It's like,
I
wait a minute,
feel like we can
really
work.
fast.
Yeah.
We can charrette.
So,
What did we
Yeah.
get? You love that word, don't you?
Today I do. Charrette of the day.
But it reminds me of like,
Yeah.
like California when suburbia was was happening. And everybody got their little postage stamp property with the house and the tree
Oh,
and the
yeah.
driveway. Unfortunately, that's what subdivisions on Nantucket.
This is gonna be good.
It's been doing good.
What's the entrance to Buck Hollow gonna be?
the gate, big gate.
Big white gate.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
White gate.
I like
Well, actually,
And
no
no trespassing sign.
So I haven't
Yeah.
proposed that, but something like with the
Yeah.
pin back where it's always open. it
Like
just looks
the
like
Meadowview has
just
a big red gate.
Yeah, just decorative gate. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I mean, it used to be a farm, so why not?
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so listen, everybody, thanks.
Thank you,
Thanks for
guys.
putting in the extra time. It's been very productive. So,
Are we, any guesses?
Can I just,
And, I mean, I'd love a
well, the
Thursday.
interesting thing, I didn't, in fairness to everybody else that's been waiting in line, I didn't want to get you too far ahead of where you would have been ordinarily. So, and it's anybody's guess how quickly we get through the rest of the agenda, but you're, yeah, right. You're down there a little bit, but not too far.
Right.
Start on
about as
these.
much as
There's
I-
a lot to do.
I think when people hold, they're on the agenda, but then they hold because they can't show up. They should not be put back at the top where you are. I feel like if you don't show up, you should go down to the back.
You better, but you better have a good.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
think
like if
it's
there was
like,
a death in the family, then it's understandable.
Yeah,
It
but
just
it's
didn't
just-
feel like showing up. That's a good point.
just
good
it
point.
wastes
I think
a lot
that
of
we used to
time
do it
everyone
like that.
doing.
I
Well,
think
you
when
didn't
I
show
say
up at the
theater,
meeting, they,
yeah,
but now that you can do Zoom, then you spend 5 minutes looking for the person.
Then
or-
people show up,
Yeah,
make sure to show up.
yeah,
Discipline.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay, so folks, thanks.
I'm not
Thanks,
gonna be
everybody.
here.
Diane, thanks for showing. That was good. Thank you, Diane.
Sorry.
So I guess, get Carrie back. Let's make sure we have a quorum so that we can adjourn, so I don't have to sit here until next week. Okay, can I have a motion?
Motion
I make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, John McLaughlin. On that
All
motion,
right.
Carrie.
Aye.
Thank you, Abby.
Aye.
Diane, on your motion,
Aye.
Thank you, and I'm in favor. Thanks, everybody.
Abby, are you sure you're not opposed?